Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. Today I would like to present my Bachelor Degree Project 2 with the title A Study on Post-Occupancy Evaluation of Student Housing Facilities in College Kediaman Pagoh, University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. So before I start with my presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nurul Ashikin Binti Ahmad Shafie with matric number AN10065. I am under the guidance of IRTS Muhammad Kamaruzaman bin Musa as supervisor and IRTS Muhammad Izzuddin bin Mahidin as my co-supervisor. I would like to start my presentation with the introduction first. So universities need to have an advanced development system by providing students with good residential facilities and services. It includes University Tun Hussein on Malaysia, which offers residential college for students on the Pagoh campus. Post-occupancy evaluations should be conducted to find out the performance of the college. Therefore, this study aims to identify the performance criteria needed for student housing facilities in College Kediaman Pagoh using POE and to assess the student satisfaction with the performance criteria of student housing facilities in College Kediaman Pagoh through POE. Student housing plays an important role in students' academic because a good quality environment can give students good vibes to carry on what they were studying. Quality amenities services are important to enhance the success of learning activities and improve user satisfaction. Students have greater expectations for higher specification services and amenities in students' accommodation, and university facilities are considered as one of the most important strategic resources for obtaining a competitive edge in the higher education sector. According to the previous study, a systematic way to identify and to distinguish the impact of the new facility on student learning is by doing POE. Post-occupancy evaluation is a process of identifying the level of user satisfaction of a building after several years of occupying the building. So buildings that do not conduct the POE survey are difficult to identify the condition of the building. Next is the literature review. I will explain in more details some of the studies I have obtained from some articles, journals and other reliable sources on related topics, which are the student housing facilities, post-occupancy evaluation, the criteria performance of student housing, student satisfaction on student housing facilities, and lastly, the student housing in UTHM Pagoh. For the first topic, according to the previous study, the essential characteristic and support service of student housing are study bedroom, bathroom, laundry, pantry, study room, computer room and others. Meanwhile, the support services are the parking lot, the cafeteria, mini markets, bookstore, ATMs, the internet service, the CCTV system and others. Next is the post-occupancy evaluation. Based on the past research, post-occupancy evaluation is a broad technique of gathering input on a building's operational performance, such as energy efficiency, the indoor environmental quality, the occupant satisfaction, productivity, and others. Another research states that post-occupancy evaluations is the practice of systematically assessing the performance of buildings after they have been occupied and used for some time. POE also gives some benefit to the owners and the users. As general, POE can benefit the building performance and the building resources used, the optimization of the indoor environment, the more information about future building design, and opportunities to improve discussion among design team and their partners. Next is the criteria performance of student housing. There are many previous research about the performance criteria of student housing, and one of the research state that the facility services criteria are safety, waste collection, fire protection, friendliness of resident management, water supply, power supply and transportation system. For this project, there are 7 performance criteria that suitable to be used, which is the comfort and space performance, accessibility and circulation, housing support service and functionality, proximity to essential facilities, cleaning and maintenance, security and safety, and lastly, the privacy and territory. In addition, about the student satisfaction with the student housing facilities, based on the past study, the student satisfaction is a short-term sensation that results from students' assessment of educational experience, services and facilities encountered during the learning process. Furthermore, a survey had been conducted to the UTHM student in Batu Pahat regarding the satisfaction of the student housing, and the outcome of the research is most students were dissatisfied with the internet sufficiency, the laundry service, bus transportation, housing costs, and mosquito protection provided in that student housing facilities and services. Last but not least, the student housing in UTHM Pago. Students hostel at UTHM Pago are referred to as College Kediaman Pago or KKP. There are 3 different colleges, which is KKP1, KKP2 and KKP3. UTHM campus Pago also provide various facilities and services such as cafeteria, transportation, development and counselling services, religious area, resources center, sport and recreation, and social facilities. Next, I will move to the research methodology. This research was carried out in 2 progressive phases to achieve the objective discussed in Chapter 1. Phase 1 of this research is to achieve the first objective of the study, which is to identify the criteria needed to evaluate the performance of student housing facilities in College Kediaman Pago. And the first phase in the methodology involved the literature review for related areas to achieve the research first objective. The criteria performance were established through various previous research. There is a total of 7 criteria performance that are suitable to be carried out in the study, which is the comfort and space performance, the accessibility and circulation, housing support services and functionality, proximity to essential facilities, cleaning and maintenance, security and safety, and lastly, the privacy and territory. The second phase used quantitative data, which is a questionnaire assessment. The method to achieve the second research objective involved the questionnaire preparation, reliability test, respondent selection, data collection, and also data analysis. The questionnaire used in this study is the closed-ended question, and the scale option is the Likert scale. Next, let's see the table 1 and table 2 here is about the Kronberg alpha reliability test, which is essential since it relates to a measuring instruments components. So from the pilot study, researcher conduct the reliability test. There are 30 questionnaire distributed to the students living in College Kediaman Pago. According to the previous study, there are no definitive standards for internal consistency. However, most people agree on the minimum internal consistency coefficient, which is 0.7. So in this study, the total of the Kronberg alpha reliability test is 0.93, means that the questionnaire was reliable with internal consistency excellent. For table 3, it is about the number of samples. The population for student in UTHM Pago is 2,187. So according to the Krejci and Morgan 1970, the researcher decided to take 322 as the number of samples in this study due to the total number of students in the middle of 2,000 to 2,500 population size. Next, for the result and discussion, this is one of the example of the frequency analysis of housing support services and functionality. The highest number of students agreed and strongly agreed was the location of cafeteria, with 91 respondents agreed and 7 strongly agreed that cafeteria was strategically located and did not disturb the comfort of the students. And 84 respondents satisfied with the parking provided in the College Kediaman Pago, and 8 of them strongly agreed about the statement. Most of the respondents disagreed and believed that the internet and Wi-Fi services were not fast and unstable in College Kediaman Pago, with total of 164 respondents, and there were 10 respondents strongly disagreed about the statement. There are 129 respondents disagreed and 3 respondents strongly disagreed and believe that the rest and sport areas in College Kediaman Pago were not provided with the adequate equipment. The descriptive analysis example is about the accessibility and circulation. So most of respondents agreed with the statements 2 and 1 as their main parameter in accessibility and circulation criteria performance for student housing facilities in College Kediaman Pago. The mean values for item 2 and 1 were 3.31 and 3.29, while the standard deviation for both items approached the values of 0, which were 0.654 and 0.638 respectively. And for the person correlation coefficient analysis, there is a relationship between the genders with 4 performance criteria, with the interpretation for all variables are very weakly positive. The person correlation coefficient for the relationship between gender and the proximity to the essential facilities is 0.14 and the p-value is 0.012, which is smaller than 0.05. Next, significance between gender with cleaning and maintenance person correlation coefficient is 0.141, while the value of P is 0.011, which is smaller than 0.05. And the value of person correlation coefficient for the relationship of security and safety is 0.119, and the p-value is 0.033, smaller than 0.05. Next is the person correlation coefficient for privacy and territory. The relationship is 0.173 and with the p-value 0.002, which is smaller than 0.01. Lastly, about the conclusion and the recommendation for this project, there are 7 criteria performance were identified in the literature review. The student satisfaction with student housing facilities in College Kediaman Pago shows a very good level of satisfaction. It shows the buildings is in good condition and perform well except for the internet and Wi-Fi services, and also the rest and sport areas in the housing support services and functionality. So from this study, the facility management can find out the level of performance criteria of student housing facilities and the condition of the building and what are the performance criteria that need to be improved and required maintenance. In addition, facility management can further improve the needs and the comfort of student housing facilities at College Kediaman Pago according to the comfort of building users. This study accomplished both of its objectives. The recommendation for the future study is to investigate POE and a diagnostic of POE towards student housing facilities to analyze the building's performance objectively. It can assist the facility manager in understanding the causes and the impact of building performance concern and subsequently propose a solution to the problem. There is a list of recommendations for future study to take further action, which is the importance of performance criteria towards buildings performance, the causes of the issues of performance criteria among students, and also the performance criteria of student housing facilities among the expertise and the facility management. So that's all from me. Before I end the presentation, I would like to say thank you for spending your time to review my presentation. Thank you.